before this. I only picked up guitar maybe 5 years ago. So this is all still very therapeutic to me to write music. I'm getting a little long-winded here. I'm gonna go into another song. But does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It was him. It was this man. You can ask him about it.
Well, and we talked a little bit before about how you said you had, when you were 13 or something, you kind of rebelled and didn't want to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole, being, super studious about your mission that occurred to me was trying to get past your own denial.
Yes.
Trying to convince yourself that you believed, when obviously what Greg saw was that you were smarter than that. There was something in you. You're a thinking person, and they taught you not to think, and you were fighting with yourself and them.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah. Because I was 13 when I first rebelled, and I said, I don't think I want to be this good Mormon girl anymore. And I was just thrown into isolation. Literally, like, they shut me in a garage for a summer, and I was not allowed to do anything but like scrape beehives and just have Mormon rhetoric thrown at me. And I couldn't see or talk to any of my friends or anyone. And after that, I became so studious because I just threw myself into the religion. I became the most educated Mormon I could possibly be of Mormon history, Mormon culture, Mormon scripture. Like, I was their poster child. So it was a huge rift in the community and in my family when I left. No one ever thought I would be the one to leave. So yeah, and I'm talking, but I need a capo. I want to step on.
How many generations is your family in?
Not a lot, surprisingly. My grandmother was a convert. Thank you so much. But my mother comes from a very tumultuous history of religion. Her parents took them around to different convent type things in the South, where different communities that she lived in, and she went through a lot of trauma. And actually, when my mother met my father, who was Mormon, my grandfather told my mother, I would rather shoot you between the eyes than see you rot in hell with a Mormon. And with that, my mother was disowned from her family at 18 and married my father. And it's 3 generations, actually. It's a history of trauma. It's not necessarily how deep does the religion go, but this cycle of trauma. My grandmother was a runaway, very uneducated. And then my mother, was basically just cut off at 18 when she married my father. And then I'm the 3rd generation of, woman really to leave my family. But I always say that the cycle ends with me. I will become educated, and I will be able to make my own destiny where I'm not repeating that cycle. So it's not necessarily Mormonism, but trauma in general, religious trauma that runs in my family. All sorts of traumas. Which brings me to my next song. I promise we will go up to happier things. It just starts a little dark. So another part of my trauma and my story is that I was sexually abused within the Mormon church. And I don't know what religion you're in, but sexual abuse is quite prevalent for young children in many religions. So I wrote this song because I remember being 8 years old. I remember sitting in the shower and just holding myself and just imagining my sexual predator entering the room, and in my head I had a gun and I would shoot him because I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't really talk to my parents about it because he was this righteous priesthood holder, in the church, and what was I going to say? They wouldn't believe me. He did eventually get taken to court and went to jail for a while. I went back to court later when I was like 16 or 17 and testified against him. And that was an experience. But anyways, I wrote this song. It's called She Has a Gun. Eyes slowly start to creep while she pretends to sleep. Only 7 only knows one way to heaven, perhaps more wicked than his hands was the habit to take commands in the system just to be one more victim. 'Cause someone's down the hall, but no one she can call. Someone's down the hall, but no one she can call. So in her head she has a gun. How come no one ever comes? In her head she has a gun. How come no one ever comes? And words wash over her like oil. She's planted in black soil, and sexuality roots ripped from reality and stains of tears she's forced to cry. She'll bury them alive. It's a cleansing she must break. She is bending, 'cause someone's down the hall, but no one she can call. Someone's down the hall, but no one she can call. 'Cause in her head she has a gun. How come no one ever comes? In her head she has a gun. How come no one ever comes? Truth is a drug. You take the wrong one, you get fucked up. Truth is a drug. You take the wrong one, you get fucked up. Truth is a drug. You take the wrong one, you get fucked up. Truth is a drug. You take the wrong one, you get fucked up. In her head she has a gun. How come no one ever comes? In her head she has a gun. How come no one ever comes? So yeah, lots of trauma in my early life, and lots of it that I didn't really know that I had until I had to face my demons and I had to face my past, and especially my family, because a lot of times trauma is wrapped up in love. People that loved you, people that you thought were the only thing that supported you in your life, all of a sudden become your trauma. And you have to unwrap the difference of conditional love and unconditional love. And, you know, going through all of that was very hard, and things that I'm still learning about myself. So this next song is more of a happy song, because I do write love songs, because despite all the trauma in my past, I have a beautiful life that I've made with my beautiful stepson and my husband. So this next song is called Ballad of a Wood Rat. That's actually the first one you played on the show, Billy. You chose it, and I was like, why did he choose that? It's such an odd title. But
I listened to it, that's why I played it.
Oh, I like it. So lovingly, my stepson and my husband, my stepson, comes up with very odd names for me that are always related to animals. And a couple years in, he just started calling me a wood rat because I was scurrying around doing something, and it just stuck. And I kept asking, can't you just come up with another name? And he did not. So they still lovingly will just text me the two emojis of a pile of wood and this rat. It's a thing. So I wrote the song, and they said, well, what are you going to call it? I said, Ballad of the Wood Rat. And then it came time we actually made the album, and then I was like, no, really, what are we going to call this? And they were like, no, you can't change it. So this is called Ballad of the Wood Rat. Don't want another hand that I can hold. Don't want another body to keep me warm. Oh. And I have regrets that I still hold. You should be one of them, I've been told. Oh. But I don't agree. I don't agree. 'Cause you're one for me. And I only hope that you still see past the diva that I choose to be. Yeah, I choose to be. 'Cause you know there hasn't been a day when you're not running through my brain. Through my brain. It's plain to see. It's plain to see. That you're one for me. You know sometimes I get so scared, feel like I'm lonesome in this world. Oh. But you give me water in this life when it's a desert full of strife. Oh. You come to me, you come to me, 'cause you're the one for me. And I only hope that you still see past the diva that I can be. Yeah, I choose to be. 'Cause you know there hasn't been a day when you're not running through my brain, through my brain. Yeah, it's plain to see, it's plain to see that you're one for me. Sometimes I think about the road less traveled by. Sometimes I think, what if I didn't choose you that night? And in my heart I know I would have drowned and died. Oh, I would have died. 'Cause you know there hasn't been a day when you're not running through my brain, through my brain. And you took a chance and made me yours, and every day I want you more. 'Cause it's plain to see, it's plain to see. You're the one, you're the one, my love. Thank you. I actually got to play that at my friend's wedding last summer. It was really cool. While she walked down the aisle, I got to play the song with some friends, so that was really cool. All right, how many of you have heard Quetico? Obviously, you guys.
Yeah, listen to it online.
Oh, cool. Very cool. This one really has nothing to do with me, other than we do go up to the Minnesota boundary waters a lot. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. But we have a really good friend that goes up there like all the time for fishing. And he was kind of a lonely, really lonely guy. And he always said he was just going to disappear. just not tell anyone where he went. And I was like, well, you can tell me. I won't tell anyone. And so he said, I don't know, somewhere north, probably up to Quetico, which is a national park in Canada, north of the Boundary Waters. And I was just like, oh, Quetico. And he said, that sounds really sexy. Just the name. And I was like, you mind if I write a song about it? He's like, I don't care. So I did. So it's called Quetico, and it's just about leaving your life, living your job, everything behind, and just disappearing. So. Working like a dog for the long, long week. Wanna kill a couple men, but I turn the other cheek. Oh, let go. I got an axe to grind, but the wheels still spin. Made some deals with the devil, thought that I could win. But if I run 6 feet under, wanna do it my way. I don't owe no one, but they can keep my change. I don't wanna feel what I'm feeling. I don't wanna see what I'm seeing. I'm gonna pack up my bags, gonna hit the road. I'm not gonna tell anyone where I will go. I ain't gonna stop till north of Quetico. Don't do me no good. I just want something quiet where I'm understood. Oh, I won't let it go. I got an old guitar and some good whiskey. All my friends and my family keeping chains on me. If I'm on 6 feet, I don't wanna do it my way. I don't owe no one, but they can keep my change. I don't wanna feel what I'm feeling. I don't wanna see what I'm seeing. I'm gonna pack up my bags, gonna hit the road. I'm not gonna tell anyone where I will go. I ain't gonna stop till I hit north of Quetico. My futures are great and so I'm slim. So from my past, the present I give. My futures are great and so I'm slim. My futures are great and so I'm slim. Oh, I'm gonna pack up my bags, gonna hit the road. I'm not gonna tell anyone where I will go. I ain't gonna stop till I hit north of Quetico. Sitting on this rock window, my back, I'll push off from shore and never look back. Oh, I won't look back. Oh, Quetico. Oh, Quetico. Thank you. Have any of you been up to the Boundary Waters? Yeah? It's a cool place. Kind of spooky when you're there all alone. Like you're the only soul in the world, but like a couple of loons out on the lake. So I always like to imagine just a lone canoe with like fog, just this kind of spooky, bluesy vibe.
I have a friend that has a cabin on the Canadian side up there.
Yeah.
And he told me, yeah, it's really nice and everything. And he goes, I have a neighbor and we're pretty far apart, but he says she goes out of town and stuff. So I go over and I feed her dogs and I take them for walks and everything, you know. He goes, I go, oh, really? That's cool. And he said, yeah. He goes, you might know her. Her name is Avril Lavigne. I thought, oh, yeah, I've heard of her.
That's really cool.
He said, yeah, I don't know if you know her or not or heard of her, but yeah.
You know, her fiance Maud's son just came out with an album, and she sings on it. It's really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Go with that. This next song is also a beautiful love song, but not in a very lovey-dovey way, I guess. I think that there's a lot of different types of love you can have out there, and this is a song called Real. I hope you like it. Tell me you still think about me when you go, when you're all alone, right before you go to sleep. And I know that it's selfish and rude, especially to you, when I tell you these things. 'Cause I know we're just friends, but it's kind of intense, and I'm tired of the poker face you wear. 'Cause I know what you hold behind that stare. 'Cause it's real. I can't help but steal the moments and the glances. I know I can't be romantic, but I yeah, whoa, I hope you know it's real. And I know what you think about you, but babe, you're wrong. Just listen to this song, and then you'll know the truth. 'Cause you are all the scars you owe, you turn into stone, and then you drown yourself in tears. 'Cause I know we're just friends, but it's kind of intense, and I'm tired of the poker face you wear. 'Cause I know what you hold behind that stare. 'Cause it's real. I can't help but steal the moments and the glances. I know I can't be romantic, but I hope. Yeah, oh, I hope you know it's real. 'Cause you once told me I deserve honesty. So tell me now if you could live without me. 'Cause I can't imagine a world where you would leave me. So tell me you still think about me when you go, when you're all alone right before you go to sleep. Thank you. I'm gonna switch over to the piano. Who's our newcomer? What's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Jeff.
Nice to meet you too.
My name's Irene. In case you didn't know.
Jeff or something like that. I didn't see you come in,
Awesome. This next song is another love song. And I actually wrote it for our wedding. It's our wedding song. And it's beautiful because it's kind of about, my life. I'm a stepmom. And I think that it's really cool to come into a family and be loved by a child that's not your own to begin with. And as you kind of get to know each other, I have a beautiful relationship with my stepson. And this song kind of talks about him and Greg, my husband, and just how deeply I love the life that we get to live together. So this is called Flying. I've taken the road less traveled by, and sometimes it made me wanna cry. But I look back and see how far I've come. You broke my dam with a giant flood, and I guess trust isn't always blood. But I found you and said I'm gonna make you mine. Bristlecone pine. Some people say let's tie the knot and see where this thing leads. I never could be tied down unless it was to wings that set me free. So fly like the wings that we are tying. The haters said we'd fall, but I'm not buying. Fly like the love that we are tying, and freedom from the past that we are finding. And now there is a little boy, and he fills my heart with so much joy. And I want to thank him for loving me as I am. My little nature man. I'm not perfect, no one is. We'll make mistakes as we go. If there's one thing I have learned, it's family leaves your room to grow. So fly like the wings that we are tying. The haters said we'd fall, but I'm not buying. Fly like the love that we are tying. Freedom from the past that we are finding. And I'll follow you to the river, and you can guide the canoe. I'll let you know what's up ahead, and if your aim is true, I'll follow you to the river, and you can guide the canoe. And if there are rough waters, know that I have faith in you. I'll follow you to the river, we'll go on, come what may. I don't know what's up ahead, I don't care either way. 'Cause it's your lips that say my name. Said with pride and not in shame. With love, 'cause I like the ways that we are dying. People say I've changed, and they're not lying. But I found a love that was worth dying. I'm glad I found the ones that needed finding. We take the roads less traveled by, and we probably will until we die. But I like that, 'cause I know where we stand. I know you're holding my hand. Thank you. All right. So I hope that I brought you into this happy space full of love and beautiful feelings, because really that's where my life went. You know, it was so painful and traumatic, and then I found love and freedom, and I started working through my traumas, and life became so beautiful. We got married. I became a stepmom, and I went back to school, and I went to school for mechanical engineering. I got a job in aerospace, and really just worked so hard to build a life where I could, one, find my own identity and work through my trauma, and two, become, like I said, educated in that I'm stopping the cycle of abuse, I'm stopping the cycle of traumas, and I am educating myself, not just in school, but just in all ways, to try to become the most well-rounded person. And so that became my journey, and eventually it became my journey to empower other people to do the same. There's a very large community of ex-Mormons, ex-Jehovah's Witness that are very active, that meet up in help groups, and I wanted to do something to help these, specifically women, who are dealing with leaving this patriarchal system and not knowing what their identity is, who they are, how they can do anything besides just what they were taught to do, which is to just have children, and have that be their sole identity. And so I started something called the Identity Project, and you can look it up on my website. But I have women that write me letters, and I send these letters to different artists that use graphic art to interpret their trauma. And we use it as an experience of helping just these collective voices come together, that you're not alone, and everyone's in a different place working through their trauma. And I hope that it empowers other people to find your identity and live relentlessly to become the best version of yourself. So, but along that way, there's still a lot more pain and struggles. And of course, I have more of that to sing to you. So this next song is called Mother's Day. And, I've really moved past the trauma of my mother. That's something that a lot of people ask me, well, don't you think that there's hope and they could change and it could turn around? And the truth is that I don't want it to. I have built myself, and I don't need toxicity, and I don't really miss my mom. I don't miss my dad. I don't miss my siblings, because I don't miss conditional love. I only want to be surrounded by unconditional love. So, but I did write the song because I had a Mother's Day concert, and I was singing all these songs about happy mothers relationships, and I just thought, there has to be somebody else out there that just hates Mother's Day. And so I sat down at the piano and wrote the song within probably an hour. I called my sound studio guy and I said, "Hey, are you free tomorrow?" I skipped a circuits or physics class or something, and I went and recorded the song, and yeah, put it out like the next week. So this is called Mother's Day. I haven't played it in a while, so if I mess up the piano, you won't know. My family once called me the golden child, but now misery is all I bring to the table. I am the Cain that killed Abel. It's not what it seems. I had to teach myself to dream. And I'm scared to take a trip, 'cause I know that I'd slip into the rubble I left behind, to my weak and broken mind. And in a dream you'd appear, once my angel, but now you fear. I am the snake that you call treason. I lead the daughters from your Eden. It's not what it seems. I had to teach myself to dream. You broke my heart, left me tied up at the start of the race. You would not run, so I did it on my own. I hit the finish. Wish I could hold you and say I did it. Another Mother's Day will come, and I'll sing the same old songs, but I'll be reaching for the whiskey to dull the pain of the history. 'Cause it's not what it seems. I had to teach myself to dream. You broke my heart, left me tied up at the start of the race. You would not run, so I did it on my own. It's a good way to raise a child until it's not. And maybe somewhere down the road you forgot. It's a good way to raise a child until it's not. And maybe somewhere down the road you forgot that love is patient and love is kind, but love is not obedient minds. I hit the finish, and you weren't there to say you did. I hit the finish, and I'm proud to say I did it all.
What were you studying at BYU before you left? Were you doing engineering year two?
Oh no.
Or? I didn't.
I told Billy, you go there to get your MRS degree.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a woman, I think that what I said that I applied for was ecology, actually, because I had a summer job working at the sports preserve where I later went back and met him. So I was going to school for ecology, but mostly I just took religious classes. I filled my schedule with studies of Judaism, Islam. I took Arabic, history of. I had Book of Mormon 1, Book of Mormon 2, Jesus Christ and the Everlasting Gospel, Joseph Smith and the Restoration. You know, I mean, these are all classes at BYU, like that you get college credit for because they have their own accreditation system, you know, within the church, and so yeah, that's really what I was studying, was just to be the best Mormon, to be the best missionary, to come back and get the best Mormon husband. So that's what I was actually studying at BYU. I was never going to get an actual degree.
Getting buddy back to the church is all that's about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This really screwed up. Hold on. I don't know if we can recover. And I have a lock on this, so that's alright. I'm actually gonna do something off the set list, if that's alright with you guys. I really usually don't ever do covers when I'm in listening rooms or places where I'm telling my story. I did that one in Portuguese for you guys, which is really cool. I'll do that one tonight if you want me to do it. You drove all this way. Oh, I did all that work and the song is capoed. Oh. Man. And you gotta retune. So this is actually a cover of Joni Mitchell. How many of you like Joni Mitchell? Yeah. I would agree. I'm not like the biggest Joni Mitchell fan, but her songwriting is incredible. No doubt about it. Which is why I like this song. It's A Case of You, but I sing it a bit differently than Joni. It's very finicky to tune, though. I'll tell you. I don't play this thing often when I have to do capos and stuff. Alright. Apologies. This is just, I think, one of the most beautiful love songs, and I don't really get to sing it that often because I wouldn't sing it at a bar, and I usually don't sing it when I'm doing my personal story and telling my own music. But I love this song, and I feel like singing it tonight. So. Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as the northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where is that? If you want me, I'll be in the bar. And on the back of a cartoon coaster, in the blue TV screen light, I drew a map of Canada, oh Canada. But oh, you're in my blood, you're my only way. You taste so bitter, so sweet. No, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. Oh, I would still be on my feet. And oh, I am a lonely painter. I live in a box of paints, and I ain't frightened by the devil, but I'm drawn to those that ain't afraid. And I remember that time you told me, you said, well, love is touching souls, and surely you touched mine, 'cause part of you pours out of me in these lines from time to time. And oh, you're in my blood, and you're my holy wine. And you taste so bitter, bitter and so sweet. And no, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. Well, I would still be on my feet. I met a woman, she had a mouth like yours. She knew your lies, she knew your devils and your deeds. And she said, go to him, stay with him if you can, but be prepared to bleed. But oh, you're in my blood, you're my holy wine. And you're so bitter, bitter and so sweet. And no, I could drink a case of you, darling, still be on my feet. Oh, I would still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. Thank you. I want to do that one for you guys because you've heard all these songs that I played at Bishop Hill, but man, I love to do that one. I haven't played it in a long time. Okay. And this next one, it's called The Ghost of Me. Go back to originals. Give me 1 second. Feel free to ask any questions while I'm tuning. It'll take a little while.
I'm interested in the childhood trips to Nauvoo and stuff. What did they try to shove down your throat?
So Nauvoo is viewed like Disneyland. I mean, it's like, just if you get the opportunity to go to Nauvoo, you're in heaven. It's like the place to go besides Salt Lake City, because it's just this famed land where the prophet Joseph Smith, was a martyr, and it's just, you'll find your testimony there, and the spirit is there, and it's just supposed to be literally life-changing to go to Nauvoo. And I happen to live in Illinois, so we went every summer, and I was always told by other Mormons, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky that we get to go to Nauvoo. So that was my experience there.
You explain a little about your garments.
Oh yeah, I saw it in our radio interview. I mentioned the the Mormon garments, the underwear, and
Right.
you wanted to ask me more, but we were on live radio. So yeah, when I was 19 and you go through the temple and you get, go through these covenants and secret handshakes and signs and symbols and all of that, you receive your underwear that you are supposed to wear for the rest of your life. It's a shirt, and then shorts to your knees, and there's symbols sewn into them that mean certain things, and it's it's kind of like a chastity belt type thing, but also literally I thought it would protect me from evil spirits. I thought it would protect me from bullets, from physical harm, and I wore them on my mission, and I had lots of trauma down there, like evil spirits and all that stuff is very real in that culture, and in Mormonism it's also very real. And part of the reason why I was wearing my garments was to protect me from these evil spirits. But I had just very traumatic stories where I thought that my garments were the only things protecting me. And, I'm walking down streets of, it's like the murder capital of the world and gangs. And I was chased by men with knives, and men threatened to rape me every single day, cut me into pieces, rape me, and throw me into the ditch, and all of these things. But to me, I was protected. And, and even if God did let that happen to me, my mother would be proud if this happened. So it was this lose-lose situation of this brainwashed girl, and the church just does not give a fuck really about you. It's all about the numbers. And so my experiences down there, my Mormon garments really were like a lifeline for me. And then I look back and I realize just how stupid that is. That I literally thought that this underwear had this, almost magical properties to protect me. Just more brainwashing for you. But yeah, the first time that I ever took them off and I didn't wear them, because you have to wear them when you sleep all the time. If you don't wear them, people do. It's called the garment check, where they'll go and they're like, "Oh, nice to see you," and they'll like run their hand down just to check and see if you're wearing your garments. Because if you're not, then you're breaking rules. So it's a weird cultural thing. But
I have a coworker who is a member of the church, and he has a tendency to be a little upset when people ask him about the.
Oh yeah, because they're sacred.
Underwear.
No one's supposed to know about them. They're very sacred.
Well, he doesn't like being called a Mormon either. We're Latter-day Saints. We're not.
Yes, that's new. So the Mormon Church has rebranded within the last 5 years, really 5 to 6 years, they don't want to be known as weird Mormons anymore. So the prophet came out and rebranded the church. And this is how brainwashed everyone is. He came out as if it's not a marketing scheme or a marketing ploy, just like it wasn't marketing in 1978 when the church finally gave rights to black people in the church. 1978. Or when polygamy was out, like they keep rebranding. And then they call it revelations from God. And everyone in the church just believes the prophet. Like it's not a marketing thing. So the prophet came out a couple years ago and he said, "We will no longer refer to ourselves as Mormons. I've had a revelation from God. To use the term Mormon is a win for Satan." And quite literally, they believed this. I believed it, when it was first said. That, okay, now we'll rebrand everything. We'll rename the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. We'll rename everything. And don't call yourselves Mormons. We're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they just eat it up. So yeah, I'm sure he gets upset when you say Mormon, because that's a win for Satan, is what the prophet said. Oh, I could go on. I won't.
You don't like it very much.
I bet not. So I wrote this song in response to I had an aunt that reached out to me, because people ask, "Do you talk to your family?" And the answer is no. I haven't spoken to my family in years. And I had an aunt that reached out to me. She said, "I was at your family's house." And she's not Mormon, by the way. She said, "And I just saw this crumpled up letter on the bathroom counter that's your brother's. It's a letter you wrote him when you lived in Honduras." Because that's all I could do. I just wrote letters home. There were no phone calls. And she sent me a picture of it, and she said, he just misses you. If you would just talk to him. And I saw the letter and it was just insane. If you read it, it was not words that would ever come out of my mouth now. I am not that person. It's like a completely different person wrote that letter, a brainwashed person. And I read the words that I had written back from 2017. And I just thought, oh no, this is so twisted. Don't send me this and say, if you just had more love and compassion for your brother. Why does my brother read a letter that I wrote him in 2017 every single day, clings to it, puts it in his pocket, loves it? It's because he loves that version of me. He won't pick up the phone or try to get to know me for who I am now. He loves that version. So I wrote this song. It's called The Ghost of Me. I heard that you used to read my letters back from 2017. The girl that wrote them is long gone, and they don't mean a thing. I killed her. I killed her. I left her body there to die on old McGregor Street. I told her if she closed her eyes, she'd wake up from the dream. And I willed her. I willed her. I know you're trying to save me from the wreckage. I wish you would've tried to read the message. You only love the ghost of me. You'll trace a map in circles, hunting something that's not real, and that's insanity. I could show up at your door and shake my fists, but what for? I'm not what you want to see. You only love the ghost of me. I heard you asked to see my picture, like you really gave a damn. I bet you looked it up 1,000 times on Instagram. And it's not fair of me to blame a young victim like you. I know exactly where you are, you know I've been there too. I know you're trying to save me from the wreckage. I wish you would've tried to read the message. You only love the ghost of me. You'll trace a map in circles, hunting something that's not real, and that's insanity. I could show up at your door and shake my fists, but what for? I'm not what you want to see. You only love the ghost of me. I heard that you used to read my letters back from 2017. The girl that wrote them is long gone, and they don't mean a thing. I killed her. I killed her. I killed her. I killed her. You see, there's nothing left, nothing but the blood and sweat it took to get me here, and nothing but the quiet rage I used to conquer fears. You only love the ghost of me. You trace a map in circles, hunting something that's not real. It's just a fantasy. I could show up at your door and shake my fists, but what for? You're not what I want to see. You only love the ghost of me.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Are you ever worried about the church trying to come and find you?
Every
bring you
day,
back up?
every minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was addressed to me.
I'm sure they will. There's, like I said, the ex-Mormon community is pretty strong. Like the Reddit has over 200,000 people in it. There's lots of support ex-Mormon groups. There's a very famous man in the ex-Mormon community by the name of John DeLynn, who hosts a Mormon Stories podcast on YouTube and everywhere, where he interviews very prominent people from the church that left, and they tell their stories. And man, there is some fucked up stuff that has gone down, and their stories and everything. And it got leaked that the church has these meetings, like the prophet and the apostles, and they talk about what is like the most apostate like dangers to the church. And like John DeLynn was in like this big circle. This PowerPoint got leaked, along with some other, the internet was one of them. And that was definitely a thing. I was not allowed to go on certain websites or read certain books. I mean, like literature and things that were like blacklisted, that like I was not allowed to touch because it would, for example, there's this thing, it's called the CES letter, and it basically lines up everything that is just infallible within Mormonism. And I read it and started to make sense of everything, and I sent it to my sister. And I kid you not, my sister's response was, Irene, I opened my laptop and I started to read it, and the Spirit told me that this is just a dark literature. And so I closed my laptop and I will not read it, because I am not willing to lose my testimony to save yours, is exactly what she told me. And that's just the mind frame that you have. And it's crazy how brainwashed people are. So my goal, actually, am I afraid of it? No. I hope one day that the prophet of the church and the 12 apostles sit around a table and Irene is the biggest bubble on their PowerPoint. And then I hope it gets leaked so I can see it. Thank you.
I admire your courage.
Thank you.
Do you think if your siblings do follow you on the net and otherwhere, that there's enough of the seeds of doubt that you had, if there's any of that in them, that they might follow you?
I have no idea. It might be their kids, maybe. One day they'll just say, hey, why did Aunt Irene, why don't we see her? And then maybe they look on the internet. I'm sure that they watch me. I know that they do. I'm just waiting for me to fail, to get divorced or to crash and burn or something. And it just brings me such joy, to stand here and say, oh, like, you wanted me to fail. I became an aerospace engineer. You wanted me to fail. I started a band and I wrote my music about it. You wanted me to fail. I have a happy marriage and a beautiful stepson. And it brings me joy to stand here for myself, but also I know they're watching, so makes me happy. Anyways, what time is it?
8:58.
8:58. Okay. Should we do the campfire song? That's a good one. You know what? No, because I'm gonna do one for you that's newer, and then I actually have a song that I wrote just yesterday. If you want to be like my guinea pig crowd, yeah. It's not even on my iPad. It's written in my engineering notes down there, actually, because I started writing it when I was at work.
Oh no, science.
Science is beautiful, and I meant to say this on the radio. You kept saying Irene is this nerd, and I just want to rephrase that. Smart is sexy. It's not this, nerd.
I didn't mean it in a bad way.
I know you didn't, but I need to be better about that. That smart is sexy and smart is powerful, because smart is not what I was supposed to be growing up. And if you saw pictures of me, literally my physical appearance, I was like a homely girl and went through a transformation. Okay. I hope I have this one. Because it's newer, sometimes I don't keep it in my notes. I know I have it. This is called Bread to Stone. Pour the wine, make your blood red, and let me taste the bitterness. I've never known another flavor. Habitual pain is meat I savor, and I am not what I seem. A body aged in nightmare dreams. The some have tried to sit in the trenches while I wrap myself in barbed wire fences. You went through hell to get me, and I gave you heaven for a minute. Oh, that's die hard, thick as mud, and I'm still here swimming in it. How long till you reach your limit? This chip on my shoulder grows harder as I grow older. You wrote it down to bones, a tragedy, but my pride swallows my empathy. And I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to stone. And stubbornness fills the splitting cracks. The weight of hatred won't break my back. You went through hell to get me, and I gave you heaven for a minute. Oh, that's die hard, the thick as mud, and I'm still here swimming in it. How long till you reach your limit? 'Cause Jesus Christ would turn stone to bread. Temptation or salvation, living rent free in his head. So suffer me now and I'll feast later. On forgiveness I'll ask you to cater. And I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to stone. I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to stone. I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to stone. I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to stone. I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to stone. I'm down to skin and bones, but I'll turn my bread to fucking stone. You went through hell to get me, and I gave you heaven for a minute. Old habits die hard, the thickest knot, and I'm still here swimming in it. How long till I reach my limit? Love is foreign, I always kill it. But won't you stay just one more minute? Thank you. All right. I don't even know what time I was supposed to play till 9 or 9:30.
Cut off, Larry, it's your show.
But yeah, I'm gonna try out this new song for you. I just need to actually take a picture of it. Lest you thought, look, design of machine elements, mechatronic system design. This is my notebook. Most of my songs are all written in the back of my school and engineering notebooks, actually. Yeah. I would have to apologize to so many professors for lots of lectures I didn't pay attention to because I was songwriting. I'm going to take a picture of it. All right. See if we can do this. Do you remember if I had a cape on when I played
No
this?
idea.
Alright.
This is your train wreck now.
Of all groups to try it, I don't know.
No, this is what happened.
I believe it was on 4. I know it was on 4. Feels right. Okay. Do you guys remember the song Freedom Was Pain that I sang earlier this evening? It kind of went like this. The song starts the same way. When the album comes out, you'll see that this song is at the end of the album, and it's a reflection of the second song, which is Freedom Was Pain. Because after you've gone through this whole journey of becoming Irene, truly, is what this next album is about. It's my journey. At the end of it, you look back, and the reflection of all of the pain is me standing there and my own life that I created for myself. And this song is called Sipping Tea with Demons. Let me see if I can get through it. I ran from the garden, found freedom, and started to rip the needles away. It came with some baggage, addictions and habits and memories I can't erase. Cause they'll kill all the witches while planting their kisses like Judas the night of your death. So let's take a placebo, control this damn ego that I know they've put in my head. And I've never been to heaven, but I have been to hell. I've sipped tea with my demons, they keep me believing that they've got something to sell. And you preach what you teach, but I live what I speak. I'm no longer a victim at last. And PTSD will bring you to your knees, but I'll wear the scars of my past. Best advice I can give is that anger's a gift. If you let it burn you to the ground, you'll feel like a stone, but I promise you'll grow. Start over, you'll make yourself proud. Cause I've never been to heaven, but I have been to hell. I've sipped tea with my demons, they kept me believing that they've got something to sell. It's the blood, sweat, and tears, and it takes lots of years. But I'm telling you, you need to know. Be okay with letting it go. I've lost friends, murdered dreams, ripped myself at the seams, let my soul spill into the night. And some people get lost, chasing ghosts in their thoughts, in the walls that they built in their minds. You can't heal what you can't find. And I've never been to heaven, but I have been to hell. I've sipped tea with my demons, learned lessons and reasons, and I left with stories to tell. Cause I found me in hell. Yeah, I've never been to heaven, but I have been to hell. I sipped tea with my demons, learned lessons and reasons. I left with stories to tell. Cause I found me in hell. Yeah, I found me in hell. A little rough, but
Thanks for sharing that with us. That's
absolutely.
exciting.
That's awesome.
I'll keep this on, and we'll end with the campfire song. That'll be a great ending to the night. I hope. I hope it was worth the drive for you guys.
I'm actually closer to here than I am to this hill.
Oh, really? Good for you. Are you the gentleman that you said that your knee, you were battling? How's your knee feeling?
Yeah, it's barking at me.
You're here, and I appreciate it. All right. And Brooke, thank you for being so kind and for having this venue.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, round of applause. All right. I'm gonna leave probably a little more reverb on this one. This is kind of just a song about being in the moment, and that's what tonight was for me. You know, sometimes you're so worried as a musician about making sure that you have the right set list and everything's ready for the show, but sometimes it's just about having intimate nights where you just remember your purpose of why you're here. And tonight was a beautiful night for me, so thank you, and I hope that you all enjoyed it. Turn out the lights, come and sit by me. I'll hold your hand, the world can let us be. 'Cause I've been thinking lately about time. You think too long, you might just lose your mind. Even the light from the stars is old, and generations of stories go untold. And when we go, I don't know how, but you are mine here, and you are mine now. 'Cause there are those that think they're oh so clever, wasting all their moments on forever. In the end, no one really knows. In the end, we only know we'll go. So let's take a break from who's right or wrong, and tell me again your story, it's been so long. 'Cause we've been running, trying to win the race, and I know if we wanted, we'd keep this pace. But all the roads that we drive could end, and if it all burns, you know you're my best friend. And I don't need the riches or the schemes, 'cause in the end we always are my dream. And there are those that think they're oh so clever, wasting all their moments on forever. In the end, no one really knows. In the end, we only know we'll go. And we are like the embers on the campfire, burning bright to reach the end and expire. And brevity is all we know, swallowed up in time's shadow. Even the light from the stars is old, and chances are our stories go untold. And when we go, I don't know how, but you are mine here, and you are mine now. You are mine here, You are mine now. All right, thank you for your beautiful night. We're gonna pack up. Thanks again, Dustin, for sound, Brooke, for having this space. It's a gorgeous space.
We'd love to have you back too.
Yeah, for sure. Can I unplug without ruining anything? You let me know.
Very good.
All right.
I love that. Yeah. Cleaning out a good renovation project and for the trailer load, garbage, wood, started kind of moved down. I feel fine. It's just a drain of crap right now. Yeah. Yeah, they got